I'm a busy gal, but I have to go soon. But I did the introduction, so hopefully that makes it in. Yeah, bye-bye.
Okay, thanks, Kat.
Alright, let me tell a little bit about myself. I'm Grace. Yeah, Kat will be back. Okay, we're back.
I forgot I can't.
Alright, I have the Google Docs, ladies.
I forgot I can't swear. That didn't last long.
Okay, my name is Grace Hansen. I am 14 years old. I am a freshman. And a fun fact about me is that I chipped my elbow in the 4th grade.
Chipped? What do you mean,
Like, a piece of the bone was like,
ew?
yeah, it was
Okay.
dislocated.
Well, once again, my name is Kyrie Leasing. I'm 14. I'm a freshman at CMR High School. Fun fact, I've never had a Twinkie before. All right, your turn.
What's so funny about it? Hello, I'm Savannah Solano. I'm a freshman. I'm also 14. Fun fact, I paid... You know what? Here you go.
Howdy, I'm Trent Cook. I'm 15. I'm a sophomore at CMR High School.
15.
And I have survived a hurricane.
I'm David. I'm 16. I'm a sophomore at CMR High School. And fun fact, I think Trent's an idiot.
That's not even a fun fact. That's a fact in general.
Oh, that's fun for me.
Okay, now it's time to tell about what's been going on in the CMR Drama Department. So, we started the year off with Sound of Music, and we have one of our very well-known postulants. So, give us a little taste.
Hi, I'm Kyrie Leasing again. If you didn't know, I was one of the postulants in the Sound of Music, and I guess you could say I was pretty famous. Anyway, it was a really fun experience being, I guess, one of the nuns, and kind of switching in between costumes and different costume changes, and it was a really fun time. Savannah, don't tell us about
My experiences?
Yeah.
Okay, when I was in this... Shut up, Trent. When I was in the Sound of Music, me and Grace were both party guests, baronesses for scene 11, the party scene. And then we learned how to Lindler for a month, and then it was opening night. Fun fact, during a rehearsal or a show, I stepped on a nail behind stage when I was getting Kyrie's postulant outfit to Maria's costume cage. So that was pretty fun. Grace, do you have anything to add?
Lindlering was a very stressful experience.
Choreographer quit on this, by the way.
No, not our choreographer. My partner quit on us.
Twice. Yeah, 2 of them.
Yeah. You'll meet that man in a couple minutes here.
Oh, he's coming?
Yeah, we're interviewing Star Spangled Girl. Okay, anyways. And then we had the corn maze.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That was fun. I scared a kid so badly that he fell down and kicked me.
I could cry.
Oh, I did that too. I made a kid cry.
I did too.
How experience?
Okay, the corn maze was that we got to dress up all spooky and like do a little makeup and and then you got to walk around the corn maze, which was like negative 2 feet tall. It was not good, and we tried to scare some people. I mostly did some mediocre SFX makeup. Kyrie, what was your main thing?
I was the girl from The Ring. It was really easy because, number 1, I'm Asian. Number 2, I'm Asian. Okay, who are you?
I kind of alternated my outfits. The first night I was a mime, and then a kid told me I was trying to copyright it, so I never dressed up as that again. And I don't remember my other 2 outfits.
How about we let Trent say what?
Yeah. Come on. Corn maze.
Alright, so I originally was a clown that I wore to the corn maze when I was a freshman.
I remember that.
Shut up.
But then, one time when, I think it was the second day we were going to the corn maze, my costume was in the bed of my friend's truck. And as we were going down the highway, it flew out. And we saw it flying out, and we didn't even bother to put it in our thing, because I was like, well, if it falls out, it falls out. A couple minutes later, we see the costume flying out of the bed.
Cool.
What
All
were
right.
you, David, for the corn maze?
I was in Oklahoma.
He was the state of Oklahoma.
And then we had 26 Pebbles auditions, and then we had Leica, which is that was before 26 Pebbles, and it was the show we took to Thespian Festival. And if you don't know what a thespian is, it's where you earn 100 hours of doing stuff with the drama department, and it's like the honor society. And Leica was a science fiction murder mystery. It was pretty epic. Tell us about 26 Pebbles, Kyrie.
All right, so if you didn't know and you're listening just now, I was Yoli in 26 Pebbles along with Sally and Jerry Ann. It was my first ever lead, and it was wacky. It was like, when I saw my name on the board, I was like, oh my God. And it didn't kick in until like a few weeks later, and it was kind of crazy. But now that I've gone through it, it was really an amazing experience. And the funny thing was, fun fact, I fell down the stairs on one of the nights we were rehearsing, and then everyone thought I was joking. So I wasn't joking. I actually fell. All right, there you go.
Did we mention that each actor played 2 to 4 characters? No. I played 3 characters. I was Carol, Julie, and Star, and it was really fun. I really just wanted to do 26 Pebbles to see if I could actually memorize a script and be in a play. Stop being knuckleheads. Stop it! Anyways, and I figured out that I could actually be a very successful actor if I had the time to learn my cues, which I didn't because I was an understudy. Anyways.
Would you stop?
Oh my God, that was terrifying.
Okay, here you go.
I was also an understudy in 26 Pebbles, and it was pretty fun. I was actor number 4. I was Georgia.
I thought I was actor number 4.
Oh, I don't know. Anyways, I was Georgia, Carrie, and Kat.
You're messing up our audio, Trent.
Trent, would you shut up?
Splice it out.
Yeah. Don't make fun of me.
Anyways, 26 Pebbles is about the people of Newtown that none of them were victims, none of them were the victims' parents, but they were a part of the community that that experienced the pity and all the experiences that the whole town of Newtown went through. And the whole play was not about like reminiscing over the victims. It was about Oh no. It's more about having hope and seeing the sun come over the horizon. Next. All right. Kyrie's gonna tell a scary story.
Since today we're doing a segment called, Scary Stories, I figured I'd center it around my 26 Pebbles thing. I've told a few people about this, but, a lot of people already know, but 2 experiences here. As Yoli, I take pictures of the teddy bears on set, and Mr. Evans, the director, decided, hey, it would be cool if you took a photo of the audience, and I was like, okay, sure. So I get on stage and I take a photo of the audience, and I don't think much of it. Then I go off stage and I'm like, I want to look through the photos. So I look through them, and right next to one of our mains, Caitlin, is a white figure with no neck. And it scared me a little bit because it was really unexpected. You usually find stuff when you're not even looking for it. And I showed everyone, and they were like, yeah, that's something.
Talk about the face.
Oh yeah, the face. Well, I found out that there was an orb on the right side of the photo, but it turns out it's just like a light thing.
Girl.
I know, yeah. But anyway, My next story is about towards the last night of 26 Pebbles. Yeah, the last night of 26 Pebbles, I was changing my shirt in the costume cage. That's towards the back of the stage, and it's just like a caged area, i.e. costume cage. Anyway, I was changing in a corner, and it was about to be showtime, so all the lights were off, and I didn't want to turn any on, so I was just changing in the dark, and I looked to my left, and it's so dark that you can only see like just a little bit from the stage lights, just a little bit like shines through the cage, and I see just one singular clothing hanger swinging back and forth, and it's like the rest of the clothing hangers next to it are completely still. They haven't moved at all, but just one is just moving back and forth, almost as if it's gonna like fly away, I guess. But it was kind of scary because I thought it was Malcolm, and he was just like Malcolm like moving the hangers around. But I looked to my right, and Malcolm's sitting down. So that's a spooky story.
Ooh, I have one. So, I was the last to get picked up from the Missoula trip because we got back pretty early. We got back around 8 when we were expected to get back around, like, I said 8.
I know, but you said early.
We got back early.
Oh, okay, never mind.
We got back early because we were supposed to get there around, like, 9 or 10. And while I was waiting for my dad to come pick me up, me and Mr. Evans were, like, two of the only people left there, and I was on stage, and the house lights were off, and the only lights that were on were the work lights, the ones in the wings, and the ones on the stage. Me and Mr. Evans were just talking on the stage, like center stage, and off in one of the wings, we heard something make a noise, and so Mr. Evans, like, went over in there and was like, "Hello?" And then I was like, "Oh, is this a ghost experience? I'm so excited." And then I was like, "What could it be? Mr. Evans, what could it be?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm pretty sure a ghost just like picked up a cord and like dropped it." And then he tried to like say hello again. He was like, "Hello." And I'm like behind him like an excited kid, and I'm waiting for something to happen, and then nothing happened. And then later on, we were having a conversation like 10 or 15 minutes later, and in the costume cage, I heard something like clatter around in there. And then that's it. The ghost makes noise.
I have a spooky story. Okay, so we were playing hide and seek on, I think it was the last night of 26 Pebbles. And because we were bored and we are children. So, I was hiding in the curtains, which is not the best thing to do. And I thought Kyrie knew where I was, and I felt like something like kind of grabbed my neck and then immediately let go. And I was like, "Ha, Kyrie, you're so funny." And then immediately I get out of the curtains and nobody's there, and I'm like, "Oh, cool." So that was a fun experience.
Yeah, you haven't told me about that.
I know.
Maybe it's because you were playing in the curtains. Maybe it's because
Okay.
you had the curtains.
Joke of the week, ladies.
No, let's skip this.
Why?
Because we don't have any jokes. Who's funny?
I feel like David has some good bad jokes.
Come on, David. Oh, I have a joke. What do you call a pineapple that's in a grocery store?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I thought you had the answer.
Oh my
That's
god.
the worst joke
Wait, I
ever.
have one.
No, I have one now.
Fine.
Okay. What's the difference between a train and a teacher?
Honk honk.
No! A train says, "Choo choo," and the teacher says, "Spit out the gum." Are you okay?
I have a joke.
Okay.
What do you call a woman giving birth during an earthquake? A birthquake!
That was terrible.
I know. I know.
Right now, we're sitting down with the main cast of Star Spangled Girl.
Take it away.
So I just have a few questions to ask you. What's your name, grade, and what character do you play in the play? starting with Malcolm.
Not it.
Okay, never mind.
The fish.
Purple.
My name is Taylor.
My name's Alex.
Oh my god.
I'm Norman, and I am a junior. I'm a junior in high school.
Oh,
Good
really?
job.
Okay,
You haven't
okay,
left yet.
Malcolm, your turn.
Purple.
Oh my god. Okay.
My name is Taylor Kuhn. I play
When
Sophie
do I get to go?
Roshmeyer.
Shut up, Alex.
I am a senior this year.
Okay, thank you.
Norman Cornell, by the way.
Purple.
Malcolm, last name is Cornell.
I'm Malcolm. I'm a senior, and I play Andy in Star Spangled Girl.
Oh, thank you. All right. Next question. Tell us about your character. What's the mindset? A mindset or, like, their qualities.
Sophie is a very extravagant Southern belle.
Touch my fish.
And and she is very, very, very conservative. And she is very passionate about America. Yes.
All right. Alex.
Well, Norman is, first off, the best character. Second, Norman's extremely intelligent. Okay, he's an amazing writer, and he writes this magazine called Fallout, which is really not that popular of a magazine, but it's kind of all they have to go on, because, you know. And then he falls madly in love with Sophie.
Because I'm awesome.
You
Because of the way she smells.
You might need to fact check that.
Because she smells.
Really good.
Good or bad?
I don't know, he just likes how she smells.
You're the actor. Come on, get into this, my friend.
Good.
All right, Malcolm.
Oh, it's my turn. Andy's sarcastic, and yeah.
Yep, good job.
You were casted correctly. All right. What's the line learning process like? As a main, what's that like? What would you say? Just chime in
What's
whenever.
the what? Line? Ow! The line. I want my fish back.
Well, the line learning process, I was unaware I had to learn lines, so it was kind of slow at first. But then, you know, it took some time because there's a lot of dialogue. And so what I really had to do was get Malcolm and Taylor to finally sit down and do it with me because they just didn't want to do it.
I'm lazy and have better things to do than sit. I mean, I love learning lines, but I just don't like being with Alex, so it kind of was a difficult situation to work with. I'm not kidding. And then sometimes Taylor, you get, you know, when there's a person you can stand them, but there's two. That's Taylor. Just kidding,
mutual.
but not really. I don't know where I was going with that, but
Thank you for your input.
you're welcome.
Ooh, may I ask them a question?
Sure.
Is it intimidating getting a 3-act script and trying to learn that all in 1 month?
We were supposed to learn it in like 2.5 months, but none of us did.
Well, me and Malcolm.
Some of us did like parts of it.
And also me and Malcolm were learning 26 Pebbles at the time.
That's true.
Exactly.
I'm the only one who doesn't have an excuse.
Yeah.
And I still didn't learn it.
It should be Mac and Lips.
What?
Never. I was making a joke about you and Skyler.
All right, next question. What's your favorite line in the play?
You're really quick to move on. All right.
Mine is his line. It's you got your mother a gift for quotation marks Mother's Day, didn't you?
Oh my god, that one is so good. I don't know what my favorite line in the play is off the top of my head.
Tell me one of mine. Right?
Honestly, anything but yours.
Okay, what about you, Taylor?
I don't know. I can't think of it on the top of my head, but I'm a big fan of the little exchange we do nearing the end of Act 1, Scene 2, where he has a tape recorder, and I'm just like, Norman. Norman.
Or the I'm taking the marijuana.
I love that one.
Yeah. So it looks like that's the end of our questions. Thanks for sitting down with us. All right. Bye, guys.
The opening is going to be a little rocky because our music hasn't been submitted yet. Oh, look who decided to arrive. They hate us now, so.
So once again, we're sitting down with the cast of Star Spangled Girl, but this time it's the understudies. So
And just the boys, because
just the boys.
Catherine is doing other
Gone.
stuff.
All right. First question, just an introduction. What's your name and grade, and what character do you play in the play?
Trent Cook. I'm 16. I'm a sophomore, and I'm understudying Norman Cornell.
I'm David Miller. I'm 16. I'm a sophomore, and I'm understudying Andrew Hobart.
Cool. Tell us about your character, their mindset, or their qualities.
Norman, he's a genius when it comes to writing, and overall just a genius in general, but he doesn't really understand social boundaries, so when the beautiful all-American type girl moves next door, he falls madly in love with her, and he doesn't know how to express his feelings, so...
Stopped, and I apologize for this.
Oh my
We apologize for this interruption.
Anyway, so Norman, when the all-American type girl moves in next door, he doesn't know how to express his feelings, so he goes about it in weird ways, such as painting love letters on the stairs, mopping her kitchen floor after she had just waxed it, performing artificial respiration on her cat, and...
Very romantic.
Very romantic, I agree. Painting her balcony without telling her, tying cologne to her cat's tail, which the cat almost killed itself with, and things along that line. Oh, and biting her earlobe in a closet.
Hot.
Getting their head stuck in an oven.
Yep, getting their head stuck in an oven, and chasing after her with the belt.
All right. David.
Andy's character, I'd say he's for sure smart. I mean, he's running the magazine, but he's also heavily relying on Norman, who's been his friend for 9 years. And he knows how to put up with Norman at this point. He understands his workings and everything, and he's frazzled in the same way when the Star Spangled Girl, moves across the hall and Norman goes crazy. He has to try and keep everything sane so he can get his magazine out because that's his living.
And there's 2 Neanderthal sons coming after him, and he needs to pay rent.
Yeah, 2 Neanderthal sons coming to break his 2 legs. And he's definitely tired a lot.
What about the encounters with Mrs. McEnany?
Oh, yeah, Mrs. McEnany. He does a lot to make sure that he doesn't have to pay rent. But he's a smart character, and he's definitely, I don't know the right word for it. Not like he's able to put up with stupidity.
He's tolerant.
He's tolerant the whole show. Yeah.
Since Catherine isn't here and she's the understudy for Sophie Rauschmeyer, how would you describe her?
Sophie, she's very patriotic, but she has no knowledge of any current issues in what time does this take place? 1966?
Yeah, 1966.
1966 political problems because of the place that she was born. Her hometown is so patriotic that her principal wrote a 4th stanza for the Star Spangled Girl banner. And she's very athletic. She competed in the Tokyo Olympics. So she's also obsessed with First Lieutenant Brooke Fenneman of the United States Marine Corps. So she's very... What's the right word for it?
What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say that she's pretty unaware of things.
Just clueless?
Kind of oblivious, yeah. She's pretty oblivious of problems, but she's very patriotic and very strong.
All right, thank you. What's the line learning process like? You can chime in whenever. This isn't like a one-on-one thing.
Whenever, well, this is a lot different because there's only 3 total characters in the show, so learning lines is a lot more difficult, and I can't imagine what it's like for David because he has a lot more lines.
And it's just quippets the whole show.
Yep. So
just little bits of dialogue back and forth.
So for me, the way I did it was I would self more, like give myself some distance, and this drums would tell you not to do this, but I put in music and say the line out loud, and repetition is definitely the biggest key. And when it was coming down to the final day where we needed to be off book, that sense of urgency kicked in, and I had to memorize 4 pages in the span of about an hour and a half.
Piece of cake.
It was actually pretty easy.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, Andy in particular has like some big words and some not English words. He has to speak Chinese, Latin, say the words backwards. He's got to be super racy, like every time he's on the phone.
from stereotypical Italian to very, very stereotypical Asian.
Yes, very, very stereotypical. But realistically, I'm glad that it was a smaller cast because I think, kind of countering what Trent said, I think it was easier because we were all able to get together basically every day and be able to actually run them together.
Mm-hmm.
So it helped learning like cues and just the little bits that you keep goofing up on because like they were there to call you out.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
And it's a much different approach from.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
And it's a much different approach from the show I was in last year, One Lane Bridge, when we had I'd say it was a pretty large cast, and we didn't really have to memorize too much unless you were obviously a main, but I wasn't a main, so I didn't have too much to learn, but going off what David said, it was a lot harder to memorize cues, and...
I don't know what I said. I said it was easier.
I'm complimenting you.
Complimenting? What? Oh, gotcha.
So,
whatever.
So shut up. So it's a much different approach from what I was doing last year with One Lane Bridge, but I'd say I prefer this style more.
What would you say is your favorite line to say in the whole play?
No, that's a tough one.
It's really tough.
Just give us a list.
Just
Just shoot him out.
I bit her earlobe. It was dangling in front of my mouth. What did you want me to do? Ignore it?
I'd say it's hard to pick a line because like my favorite little bits of dialogue tend to be the angry arguments between Andy and Sophie, because he'll say the most ridiculous things in an aggravated manner, yelling about how apple pie originated in Bavaria, Germany, and talking about was it feather dusting? Just the
Dead
heavy
chicken on stick.
sarcasm. It's amazing.
Sorry. What's the most important? I'm sorry. What would you say is the most important part about being an understudy?
Well, there's kind of two cases because we have a special case going on with us as an understudy. In general, it's being reliable in case anything does happen to a main. But for us right now, we have just as much pressure on us as the mains because
It's such a small cast.
yeah, there's such a small cast, and we're also getting our own show May 11th, 2 p.m. Come see that.
Self promo.
Yeah, of course it did. So, for us, that's what the biggest, at least for me, that's what the biggest stress is. But overall, I'd say you have to be reliable just in case something bad does happen, such as there was a time where some person got really bad case of the whooping cough, and another time, not even, only a week before opening night, some girl quit because she got mad at Mr. Evans.
I'd say the most, it's kind of going on what Trent said with being reliable and the amount of time that, we had to make sure we had all the lines memorized. It's you have to realize you can't slack off. You've got to be there if they need you, so yeah.
We're just as important as the mains. It's just kind of, we have a bit of a lesser title, but we still have just as much of importance as the mains.
All right. Any last words? We're gonna be I'm sorry.
Did I?
Would you like any finishing up or?
No, that's it. Good.
All right. Bye.
All right. Thank you so much for sitting down with us and answering a few questions. All right.
Okay.
See you guys.
Ladies, I had an idea, and I told Kyrie, but she kind
I
of...
don't think we have enough time.
I think we have 12 minutes. It's if we just go, we do a tour of the auditorium. Thoughts?
Let's save it for next episode.
All right, we'll
Yeah,
save it for next episode. That's what you have.
Preview.
Yeah.
All right.
Join us next time.
Wait. Should we say the dates for Star Spangled?
Oh,
We know
yeah.
them?
Go. Next week, May 9th through 11th. May 9th through 11th. Curtain is 7
Wait.
o'clock.
Wait.
Yes.
Yes. 7.
7 o'clock p.m. And tickets are Fun.
Oh my god. We should redo this.
$3 to $6 or something.
No, it is not $3 to $6. It's like at least $5 to
Let me go to the CMR
God,
Drama
you don't
Facebook page. Oh no. Okay, I'm going to the CMR Facebook page. Great Falls High, if you hear this, we have better seats than you.
Oh my god, don't start a war.
Sorry.
Please stop.
they
Alright,
already know we're
should we say goodbye?
Yeah, let's do a little closing theme. I'll figure that out.
Alright. You're listening to the CMR.
You were listening.
Okay. You were listening to the CMR Drama Podcast.
Wait, let's interview the stagehands.
No!
Fine. Fine.
Okay. You are listening to the CMR Drama Podcast with Kyrie Leasing.
Savannah Solano.
And Grace Hansen.